All types of survival foods explained in easy way. Equals. Hardtack. Hardtack is a very dry biscuit made from flour, water, and salt. It is baked until almost all moisture is removed. The result is a hard, dense square or rectangle that is barely edible by modern standards. Versions of this food have been used by armies and sailors for thousands of years, with similar foods found in ancient Roman and Egyptian supplies. The name appeared in the 19th century, combining hard and tack, a British slang word for food, but the idea is much older. Roman soldiers carried a grain-based flatbread called buxallatum, and Norse sailors also used dried bread on long voyages. The main advantage of hardtack was not taste but durability. When kept dry, it could last for years. During the American Civil War, hardtack became well known among Union and Confederate soldiers who often complained about how hard it was. A common way to eat it was to soak it in water or coffee, then fry it in bacon fat. Soldiers called this skilligalee. Sometimes the biscuits were stored so long that insects lived inside them. Soldiers would tap them to shake the bugs out or simply eat without looking. Dry hardtack is extremely hard with almost no flavor except mild salt. When soaked, it becomes soft but thick and pasty. It is not pleasant, but it worked well as a stable source of carbohydrates over long periods without special storage. Pemmican. Pemmican is a concentrated food made from dried meat, rendered fat, and sometimes dried berries. It was developed by indigenous peoples of the North American plains, especially the Cree and Métis nations. The word comes from the Cree language, from a root meaning he makes grease. Essentially, it is a calorie-dense food built for long storage and easy transport. Pemmican lasts for years or even decades without refrigeration when prepared correctly. The process starts with lean meat, usually bison, elk, or deer. It is sliced thin and dried over fire or in the sun until brittle. The dried meat is then pounded into a coarse powder and mixed with an equal weight of rendered tallow while still warm, so the fat binds it together. Dried berries like Saskatoon or Virginia bird cherry were sometimes added, not only for taste, but also for preservation and extra calories. The final mixture is pressed into cakes or stored in rawhide bags. Texture-wise, pemmican sits between a dense protein bar and a waxy block of meat. It does not melt or crumble easily, and it has a very strong smell by modern standards. The taste depends on the animal and whether berries are included. Without berries, it is deeply savory, slightly metallic, and very fatty. European fur traders quickly adopted it and built supply systems around it in the 18th and 19th centuries. The Hudson's Bay Company traded large amounts of pemmican to support long canoe routes across Canada. Arctic explorers like Robert Peary used it on polar expeditions and credited it as essential. Even in World War II, some military rations were influenced by pemmican because of its long shelf life and high energy content. Biltong. Biltong is a cured, air-dried meat from southern Africa, especially linked to South African food culture. Similar methods were used by the Khoikhoi and other indigenous groups before European arrival. The name comes from Dutch words meaning strip of meat and tongue, describing its shape. Biltong differs from jerky in both process and taste. Jerky is usually smoked or heated with sweet marinades. Biltong is first soaked in vinegar, then coated with salt, pepper, and coriander, and left to dry in cool air. No heat is used. The vinegar helps preserve and tenderize the meat, while salt removes the moisture. The Voortrekkers, Dutch-descended settlers who moved inland in the 1800s, relied heavily on biltong during long journeys across southern Africa. They prepared large batches before travel and hung strips from wagons while moving. Texture varies depending on thickness. Some pieces are soft and chewy in the center, while thinner slices become dry and firm. The outside often forms a darker, more intense layer. The flavor is savory with spice notes from coriander and a slight tang from the vinegar. Tsampa. Tsampa is roasted barley flour used as a staple food in Tibet and the Himalayan region for over 1,000 years. It is made by roasting barley grains, then grinding them into a fine powder. The roasting step gives it a longer shelf life and a toasted flavor. Traditionally, tsampa is mixed directly into butter tea made from tea, yak butter, and salt. The flour absorbs the liquid and fat, forming a thick dough or paste that is eaten by hand. No cooking is needed after roasting the barley, which makes it very practical in cold, high-altitude regions. Nomads, monks, and traders have relied on tsampa for centuries. It is easy to carry and prepare anywhere. Travelers simply mix it with whatever liquid is available. It was especially important during long winters in Tibet. The flavor is earthy and nutty. With butter tea, it becomes rich and filling. With water alone, it is simple and heavier. It is not similar to typical bread or porridge, but works as a complete staple food. Cattail. Cattail is a wetland plant found on almost every continent. It is easy to recognize by its tall green stalk and brown cylindrical seed head. It has been used as food by indigenous peoples across the Americas, Europe, Asia, and Africa for thousands of years, making it one of the most widely used plants in history. The useful parts of cattail change throughout the year. In early spring, the young shoots can be peeled and eaten raw, with a mild taste similar to cucumber or celery. As it grows, the unripe flower spike can be boiled and eaten like corn on the cob. Later, the yellow pollen can be collected and used as flour or mixed into other flours for baking. In winter, the underground rhizomes can be dug up, dried, and ground into a starchy flour. Native American tribes such as the Chippewa and Iroquois used cattail widely. The leaves were used for weaving, the seed fluff for insulation and wound care, and the pollen for food. The taste depends on the part of the plant. Shoots are mild and watery, while pollen is slightly sweet and starchy. It is not a strong-flavored food, but in wetland environments, it provides a steady source of calories across all seasons. Dried fish. Dried fish is one of the oldest preservation methods in human history, practiced on nearly every coastline and riverbank in the world. The basic process involves removing moisture from fish either by air drying, salting, smoking, or a combination of these methods, depending on the region and climate. In Norway, stockfish is made by hanging whole cod in cold, dry air for several months until the fish becomes nearly wooden in texture. It was central to trade routes across medieval Europe and helped feed populations far from any coast. In Japan, katsuobushi is dried, fermented, and smoked skipjack tuna shaved into thin flakes used to build the base of dashi broth. Coastal communities in West Africa have long relied on dried and smoked tilapia or catfish as a protein source through dry seasons when fresh catches are less reliable. The texture of dried fish varies greatly. Stockfish is extremely stiff and must be soaked for days before cooking. Lightly smoked fish remains somewhat flexible and releases flavor quickly when added to stews. The taste is concentrated and intensely savory, often much stronger than fresh fish, because the drying process draws out and locks in all the natural oils and salt. Even small amounts add significant nutrition and flavor to simple meals. Acorn bread. Acorn bread is made from acorn flour, which comes from ground oak acorns after removing their natural bitterness. Raw acorns contain tannins, which must be removed through soaking or leaching in water over time. After this process, the flour becomes mild and slightly sweet. Many indigenous California tribes, including the Miwok, Pomo, and Ohlone, relied heavily on acorns as a food source. Oak trees produced large seasonal harvests, allowing communities to store food for long periods. Archaeological sites show storage pits built specifically for acorn meal. Bread made from acorn flour is dense and dark compared to wheat bread. It does not rise well because it contains no gluten. The flavor is earthy, slightly sweet, and sometimes nutty. Acorns were also used in other regions, including parts of Korea, Japan, and Mediterranean Europe during times of grain shortage. Evidence shows acorns were used as food in many ancient societies across Eurasia. Pinoli. Pinoli is toasted corn flour from Mesoamerican food traditions that go back thousands of years. Corn kernels are roasted until lightly browned, then ground into powder. This roasting gives a nutty flavor and helps it last longer. The Raramuri people of northern Mexico are well known for using pinole as a travel food. They mix it with water into a drink or thin porridge and consume it during long-distance running. It provides steady energy over time instead of quick bursts. Pinole was also used by Spanish missionaries and settlers in the 1600s and 1700s as a travel ration. Some versions included other seeds like amaranth or mesquite for added nutrition. The taste is lightly sweet and nutty with a roasted corn flavor. It can be plain or mixed with cacao, sugar, or cinnamon. Dry, it feels dense and slightly grainy. Salo. Salo is a traditional cured pork fat from Eastern Europe, especially associated with Ukraine and the surrounding regions. It is made from thick slabs of raw pork fat, usually from the back or the sides of the pig, which are heavily salted and sometimes cured with garlic, pepper, or herbs. In some variations, it is slightly smoked, but many versions are simply salt-cured and aged in cool storage. Unlike most meat products, salo is valued primarily for its fat content rather than protein. Historically, it became an important calorie source for farmers and rural communities during long winters when fresh food was limited. The salt curing allows it to be stored for long periods without refrigeration, and it was often kept in cellars or wrapped in cloth. Salo is usually eaten in thin slices. It can be consumed raw in its cured form, often placed on rye bread, sometimes with garlic or onions. In colder regions, it may be eaten frozen, which makes it firmer and easier to slice very thin. It is also sometimes rendered into cooking fat or used to flavor soups and stews. Texture depends on temperature. At room temperature, it is soft and buttery. When cold, it becomes firm and waxy. The flavor is rich and salty with a clean pork fat taste and a little sweetness. Beyond nutrition, salo holds cultural significance in many Eastern European cuisines and is often treated as a traditional comfort food, as well as a survival staple. Pine needle tea. Pine needle tea is made by steeping pine needles in hot water. It produces a light green drink with a resin-like, slightly citrus taste. It has been used for both nutrition and traditional medicine in many regions, especially where fresh fruit was not available. Pine needles contain vitamin C, sometimes in high amounts depending on species. This made the tea useful for preventing scurvy in sailors and winter populations. In the 1500s, Jacques Cartier's crew learned from indigenous peoples along the St. Lawrence River how to use tree-based teas to treat scurvy. Common safe species include white pine and spruce. Some species, like yew, are toxic and must be avoided. Young spring needles are usually preferred because they are softer and more nutrient-rich. The flavor is fresh and slightly sharp with a forest-like aroma. It is light in body and leaves a mild resin aftertaste. It can be improved with honey or berries, but even plain, it is a simple and functional survival drink. Insects. Insect eating, known as entomophagy, is common in many parts of the world and practiced by billions of people. It is not just survival food, but part of regular diets in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. Grasshoppers are widely eaten in Mexico, where chapulines are toasted and seasoned with lime, chili, and salt. They are crunchy and slightly smoky. In East Africa, winged termites are collected during seasonal swarms and eaten roasted or dried. Beetle larvae are also widely consumed, especially palm weevil larvae in tropical regions. They are usually roasted or fried. Crickets are often used in modern insect farming because their flavor is mild and slightly nutty. Nutritionally, insects are high in protein and fat. Crickets, for example, are very protein-rich by dry weight. They also require far fewer resources to produce compared to livestock, which is why they are often discussed in future food systems. Seaweed. Seaweed is one of the most nutritionally complete foods available in coastal environments and has been eaten by humans for thousands of years. It grows in salt water along shorelines across the world and requires no farming, no soil, and no fresh water. In Japan, varieties like nari, kombu, and wakame have been central to the diet for centuries. Nari is dried into flat sheets and used to wrap rice. Kombu is simmered in water to create a deeply savory broth. In Korea, miyeok, a type of brown seaweed, is traditionally eaten in soup after childbirth for its high mineral content. In Ireland and Scotland, dulse and carrageen moss have been gathered from rocks along the Atlantic coast for hundreds of years and dried for long-term use. Seaweed contains iodine, iron, calcium, and several vitamins that are difficult to find in land-based survival foods. The texture depends heavily on the variety and preparation. Dried nari is crisp and slightly salty. Rehydrated wakame is soft and slippery. Kombu becomes thick and rubbery when cooked. The flavor ranges from mild and oceanic to deeply umami and briny. In a survival context, seaweed is remarkable because a small amount provides minerals that prevent deficiency conditions over time. Bannock. Bannock is a simple flatbread made from flour, water, and fat, cooked over an open fire or in a pan. It has been made across Scotland, Canada, and the northern United States for centuries. The word likely comes from a Gaelic term for a compact grain cake. Scottish settlers brought the basic idea to North America, where indigenous peoples adapted it using available ingredients and cooking methods. Many First Nations communities in Canada developed their own versions, some baked on flat stones near a fire, others wrapped around sticks and cooked over open flame. The ingredients are minimal and the technique is forgiving. Fat can come from lard, butter, or oil. The dough is mixed quickly and does not need to rise. It can be cooked within minutes of mixing. Texture varies depending on thickness and cooking method. Thin bannock cooks quickly and develops a slightly crisp outside. Thicker versions are chewier and more bread-like inside. The flavor is mild and weedy with a faint richness from the fat. It is not a flavorful food, but it is fast, filling, and requires no special equipment beyond heat and a flat surface. That combination made it reliable for trappers, traders, and anyone moving through cold wilderness for days at a time. Miso. Miso is a fermented paste made from soybeans, salt, and a mold culture called koji, which is grown on rice, barley, or soybeans. It has been used in Japan for over 1,000 years and is still a daily staple in Japanese households. The fermentation process can take anywhere from a few weeks to several years depending on the style. Lighter miso, called shiro or white miso, is fermented for a shorter time and has a mild, slightly sweet flavor. Darker varieties like hacho miso are fermented for 2 years or more and develop a dense, intensely salty and earthy taste. Miso provides protein, beneficial bacteria, and a significant amount of salt, which is itself a survival resource. Historically, it was a military food in Japan. Samurai and soldiers carried miso paste on campaigns and dissolved it in hot water for a quick, warming meal. It was also stored in large quantities in feudal castles as a food reserve during sieges. The paste keeps for a very long time when stored cool and sealed. Even small amounts dissolved in water produce a nourishing and filling broth. The flavor is savory and complex, with a depth that simple salt or grain foods cannot match.